Hey there, Aries. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a reading for the month of May 2025. So we're going to see what the upcoming weeks have in store for you. I'm getting the feeling that this might be a month of maybe making some big choices, and we'll see what some of the challenging aspects may be, but yeah, it may be difficult to kind of lean into a new direction, but it seems like the moment is right to do that. So we'll see. Cards are a little hesitant today. I've been feeling a similar energy, like even leading up to the reading. And yeah, I just wonder what that might suggest for you as well. If there's a sense of hesitancy or honestly just poor attitude that you may be experiencing that may be hard to shake. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we'll go ahead and kick off the reading, and my suspicion is that this will be one where I clarify kind of piecemeal to see how the story unfolds. Some readings I find myself wanting to clarify everything at the beginning to give me a stronger start, but I think this one is asking for a slower sort of build. So to begin, you have the Two of Wands at the heart of your reading for this upcoming month, or this current month. Yeah, it seems like there's going to be a combination of walking away from one set of stale circumstances to, at least considering the direction that you'll be moving in. And again, I think maybe the vision of your future may be the thing to kind of be cultivating for this month, rather than, I think action is going to be important, but with the Two of Wands at the heart of the matter, it really does feel like a good bit of just consideration, deep contemplation about the kind of life that you want to build, the way that you want to show up in the world. And I say this because your challenge for this month is going to be the Eight of Cups. So this is walking away from sort of emotional experiences that just are not fulfilling anymore. And so there's sort of it's interesting. I see, as I was looking at it from my perspective, I was seeing the person walking away from the Eight of Cups moving in the same direction as the person in the Two of Wands, the same direction that they're considering. So it's like both of these energies, like the walking away seems very aware of the direction that they're being called to, and the Two of Wands, while there may be confusion in the mix still, there is an undeniable attraction to a certain way of being, a certain way of life, that I think has become undeniable at this point. So before we get into your conscious and unconscious realms, I'm going to go ahead and clarify those cards, because the theme of this reading is starting to feel kind of like big, kind of large, and see if we can narrow it down just a bit. And to let you know what I'm working with right now, the King of Wands is the card you have in your conscious world for this month. So this kind of speaks to me about a very empowered action that you are consciously taking to create your new world in a way that is very unique to you, that suits you and your own individual skill sets, preferences, peculiarities, but in a way that is very harmonious with your different aspects of you. So let's see if we can get some clarity as to the kind of action you're taking, or what your values might be in taking action this month. King of Wands in the conscious realm strikes me as a very empowered way of being. This is, sometimes our subconscious drivers can cause us to act in ways that we don't really understand, have us feeling confused about our emotions or our intentions with our work or interactions with other people. But with the King of Wands, this is a very empowered energy, a very aware energy. So it's kind of like the idea of knowing what it is that you want to do, and having the vision and the capability and the drive, willpower even, to do those things. So that's a very empowered way of being, and I'm happy for that clarity for you. See if I can get one more for clarification here. And about your personal happiness. Like, there's there's going to be a sense of like it's going to be a very bright month, in fact. Like, so even when I was getting a sense of sort of a, maybe deeper considerations about the future here that were coming kind of quite strongly at the beginning, I think that there will be lightness this month, and particularly in regards to like other people recognizing you and valuing you and your capabilities and your qualities, your characteristics. So to clarify the King of Wands, you have the Three of Cups and the Six of Wands. So this is a lot of celebration, a lot of recognition from other people. You're really shining bright by choosing yourself this month, to choosing to honor the things that really light you up. And it may very well be that you find new friendships, new very close friendships, or foster your current friendships in a way that maybe you haven't for a while. This is a real feeling of like coming together and people being very happy for you, and happy for what you're doing. There's a very harmonious feeling here. I mean, in fact, like, to have a conscious kind of realm be illuminated in this way, I think is quite special. You have blue backdrops for each of these cards. This is a lot of feeling of spaciousness, room to grow, newness, opportunity, invigorated sense of life, maybe a sense of meaning, feeling more strong, again, more light in general. So yeah, with the Three of Cups, I get the feeling of like close friendships, camaraderie, could be like work relationships as well, really improving. I think my feeling is that whatever energy this is that you're embodying is going to carry over into the different parts of your life, you know, work, family, intimate relationships, friendships, you know, personal endeavors, all of those things. So this is a very sort of a bountiful feeling. And with the Six of Wands here, there is a sense of people watching you and recognizing you. And so in a way, it seems that you are building the reputation that you desire. This is a very fortuitous time, I feel like, where again your motives and your, as soon as you get the image of what it is that you would like to achieve, the small steps, the small actions that you can take towards making that real are going to be very clear. You're going to seize the opportunities. Sorry if that was out of focus a little bit. And people are going to be very, very admirable. They are going to admire you. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and clarify your subconscious realm for this month, which is going to be the Strength card. Again, very, very, very powerful, fiery energy that's seems to be very closely associated with you as a person. Even though this is a very general reading, this can apply to all of the Aries. Let's see if we can get one or two more for this one. And while we're at it, I think I'm going to go ahead and clarify your advice for this month as well, because I can start to see how things are tying together now. Yeah. I think just sort of recognizing a loss as a loss, cutting losses, will really help to open up your energy, help the strong energy that's already here flow a little bit more free. Yeah. Let's see if there's one more here. Yeah, my feeling is that there's just going to be a way that you're feeling that you're just reaching the point of being too tired of it. It's just too tiring. And I think that those would have been very deep feelings, feelings connected to loss or uncertainty or insecurity in some sort of way. And they just don't have that grip anymore because you've made like the decision that the time is over. And it's like, I don't think this decision could have been rushed. I don't think you could have arrived to it any sooner or any later. It's just the appropriate timing. There's just nothing more left to mine from this feeling, in the way that sometimes like toxic things that we do in some sort of way are rewarding us in a way that we probably wouldn't want to admit, you know, getting kind of payoffs from poor behavior or behavior that does not serve us or other people. In fact, it like harms us or other people. But I think whatever those things are coming to an end, it's just, there's it doesn't feel worth it to continue that. Yeah, and also I get a feeling of like responsibility. You know, you taking responsibility in some important ways here for managing your affairs. You know, managing the physical aspects of life that you need to attend to, but without a heaviness dragging you like through all of those tasks or all of those steps in life. Um, it's like the balance can be easier once you let some other baggage go. I think it's kind of general, but I think it rings very true for you, or at least for this reading. Um, so in your subconscious world, you have the Strength card. This is about um, letting your higher self kind of guide and integrate, you know, the lower aspects, you know, the more primal. If higher and lower doesn't feel good, which I would understand, kind of like the more animal part and then the more angel part. Letting those things coexist and harmonize because they can harmonize and they want to, and you can soothe, you can soothe hurt, troubled feelings within yourself. Is kind of like you have the power, is what this suggests. And again, this strength card is going to be clarified by the Tower, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. So while the Tower seems like a dramatic sort of like puzzle piece that's introduced into the mix of this quite bright, shiny energy, it's one that it's sort of like a negative entity of some sort washing out of the system, you know, making its way out. Something that had crumbled or a hurt that had happened some time ago that has been carried for quite some time that is now like you can see it that it's time to just release and that there's no loss from releasing this. There may have been a feeling in the past where like to release this or to face this emotion or to let this in any kind of more intimate way, to see it, to feel it would be too much. It would be too overwhelming, too threatening, too damaging. But that's not the case. There's some way in which you can view the world now, you know, with more clarity and kind of like let this wash on through. And the thing is that once you do let this troublesome part kind of like wash away, or even just be, you know, once you can kind of view it and feel it in your bones that this thing is not the scary entity that you once thought it was, and it goes away and it disappears, there's so much more opportunities, energy, liveliness, inspired action is going to be able to come through so much faster now that this thing is not weighing down or like occupying so much of your thought space, your mind space. It's like it's truly like was something that was like small but very significant in the way that it blocked the flow of energy, the clarity for you. And so that once this energy does start to flow, and it will start to flow once you kind of just continue willingly opening to a brighter future and letting that troubled past go, your personal fulfillment is going to feel close at hand. It's going to feel achievable. And it could happen like overnight even, or like very, very quickly, where at once it was difficult to see the future that you wanted for yourself, but now, like with careful observation and like kind of just building the dream, like refining the vision day after day, the fulfillment is going to come and you're going to feel it in a very deep way. So that's a beautiful thing. And so now I'm just going to probably a little more quickly move through your challenge and your advice, because I think you're catching the drift of the kinds of things that you can participate in this month to build yourself, to make yourself feel good and kind of lean into the future that you want. And that maybe you've been envisioning for a while, but now it seems like there's more momentum, there's more to carry you because you've you've cleared the way in the ways that you need to. So with your challenge, this Eight of Cups, to walk away from those emotions that don't fulfill you, those feelings that are just kind of troublesome and damaging. That's the Eight of Cups is clarified by the Moon and the Two of Pentacles. So it could be difficult because like this wounding that you experienced was quite deep, and it's probably felt too big to approach, kind of as I mentioned a little bit ago. But there's more power here. There's again that sense of balance in life where you can handle your affairs with more confidence. There's just more capability here. There's more skill set. Your ability to kind of ride the waves here of emotions, the ups and downs of life, however you might metaphorically think about these waves and how they're showing up in your emotions. You've become much more skillful. And while this is part of a challenge, this is the way in which you are navigating your challenge. You're kind of surfing with the ups and downs, the highs and the lows, because they're ultimately like those things are just a part of life. And even in this kind of new world that you create for yourself, those things will still be there, yet your skill set for navigating them is just so much more improved. Yeah, so as you've kind of reached that breaking point of not being able to carry some of those heart-aching emotions with you anymore, or attitudes or way of seeing things, it's almost like you level up in a way where you can just handle all the different parts of your life more competently, and with more confidence. And so in your advice for this month, you have the Death card. Or the card of transformation. So this is a very powerful piece of advice, particularly as it's clarified by the Emperor and the Two of Swords. What this suggests to me is that the more and more that you settle into your individual power, your own unique expression, the more that you build your self-trust, your willingness to express more freely, your power will be felt. And this power is going to grow, and it's going to, again, I think, be felt by a lot of people. It's going to be an undeniable brightening to your experience this month. And so you have a lot of courage helping you here as well. I get the sense of a lot of sort of spiritual help or help from other people, which can also come and like feel like spiritual help as well. Even like angelic forces are with you, or however you might think of the entities that guide you and help you in life. And yeah, there's just going to be a tremendous amount of power at your disposal. And I think that your boundaries are going to be fortifying as well. As you're kind of leaning into this time of transformation, you may also want to kind of fortify your boundaries and take note of those moments where you need to be by yourself, or in some way you need to preserve your alone time so that you can really lean into you and your power rather than be distracted. I don't know that there will be a tremendous amount of external distraction this month. I mean, life goes on and things always happen, but it seems like this Two of Swords, thinking about it in the terms of all of this other blue energy that you have, this expansiveness, this openness and potential, it's almost like sort of just having that awareness of where you are and where your emotions are at any given moment, what you're capable of tackling, what you may need help with, and what you just can't afford to give to other people anymore. So whatever emotionally you're being challenged to walk away from, this could involve people, relationships with people that are challenging or trying. This may be a time where you need to cut off or limit more of those type of interactions simply for your own self-preservation, or your own betterment, your own protection right now as well, because this time of transformation can be a tender, at times vulnerable experience. Sort of like when animals are like, I think snakes and other things that shed layers of their skin or their skeleton or themselves, that they're very vulnerable in those transformational states. Something very powerful is coming, and there's a lot of energy moving and a lot of potential being awakened. But it may be a good time to just set your boundaries in the ways that you're comfortable with. So, I feel good about the direction that you're headed for the month. Let's get a couple of oracle cards for you to kind of highlight some of the themes that will be helpful for you. And let's see. Gotten in the habit of cleaning the table a little too quick, so if I have to reference some cards, it may take me a minute to just shuffle back through the tarot cards, but we'll see what comes out from the oracle messages. See if we can get a couple oracle cards for Aries. This may be also a good month to kind of practice a deeper sort of faith in whatever way you feel called. Kind of cultivating a trust that the universe is a positive place, and looking for evidence of that to appear, and you'll very likely see more and more evidence of that being the case, of that being the truth, of some of the force being very powerful and very influential in positive ways, in ways that are very loving. Okay. Oh, okay. This is interesting. A very nuanced kind of energy we have here. And I think I'm going to read from the guidebook on these, because I think there's a lot of poetry in these images that this book reveals very helpfully. So your oracles for this month are totality, innocence, and slowing down. Give me just a minute there. So we'll begin with totality. These three women are high in the air, playful and free, yet alert and interdependent. In a trapeze act, nobody can afford to be a little bit absent, even for a split second. And it is this quality of total attentiveness to the moment at hand that's represented here. We may feel that there are too many things to do at once, but get bogged down in trying to do a bit here, a bit there, instead of taking one task at a time and getting on with it. Or perhaps we think our task is boring because we've forgotten that it's not what you do, but how you do it that matters. Developing the knack of being total in responding to whatever comes, as it comes, is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Taking one step through life at a time, giving each step your complete attention and energy, can bring a wondrous new vitality and creativity to all that you do. And I think with the King of Wands in your conscious world for this month, I think you're really going to be able to lean into this totality. I think life is going to have a noticeable sweetness in many of your moments. So for your next one, we have innocence. There we go. The old man in this card radiates a childlike delight in the world. There is a sense of grace surrounding him, as if he's at home with himself and with what life has brought. He seems to be having a playful communication with the praying mantis on his finger, as if the two of them are the greatest friends. The pink flowers cascading around him represent a time of letting go, relaxation, and sweetness. They are a response to his presence, a reflection of his own qualities. The innocence that comes from a deep experience of life is childlike, but not childish. The innocence of children is beautiful, but ignorant. It will be replaced by mistrust and doubt as the child grows and learns that the world can be a dangerous and threatening place. But the innocence of a life lived fully, has a quality of wisdom and acceptance of the ever-changing wonder of life. One more time, that's a life lived fully has a quality of wisdom and acceptance of the ever-changing wonder of life. And for your last one, we have slowing down. The Night of Rainbows is a reminder that, just like this tortoise, we carry our home with us wherever we go. There's no need to hurry, no need to seek shelter elsewhere. Even as we move into the depths of the emotional waters, we can remain self-contained and free from attachments. It's a time when you're ready to let go of any expectations you've had about yourself or other people, and to take responsibility for any illusions you might have been carrying. There's no need to do anything but rest in the fullness of who you are right now. If desires and hopes and dreams are fading away, so much the better. Their disappearance is making space for a new quality of stillness and acceptance of what is, and you're able to welcome this development in a way that you've never been able to before. Savor this quality of slowing down, of coming to rest, and recognizing that you're already at home. So, I don't think that I have anything to add to those messages. I wish you a beautiful remainder of May, and I will talk to you another time. Thank you.